Good evening, everyone. So welcome to Career Launcher. My name is Naveen, and today we'll be looking at CMAT exam. The must-do quant DI questions, or basically the types of questions. Okay. So without wasting any time, let's begin with our first question of the day. If AB plus C is equal to D and find A and C, given that when B is equal to 6, D is equal to 30, when B is equal to 8, D is equal to 36. So basically, when you solve such questions, CMAT is all about speed and accuracy based exam. The questions are very direct. They are little calculative sometimes, or they are formula based. So if you look at the equation which says AB plus C is equal to D, and when it says when B is equal to 6 and D is equal to 30. So I'm going to use only the first pair of equations and use the options to make it faster rather than, rearranging, writing down two equations and solving, which I believe most of you would have understood that that is the proper way. But to make it faster, you can use your equations. So if I take A is equal to 2 and C is equal to 6, it's not going to give us a 30. If we take A is equal to 3 and C is equal to 12, it will give us a 30, but that's not necessarily the answer. There may be other combo that can give us the answer. If I take A is equal to 6, it itself is going to be 36. If I take A is equal to 4, that's 24 plus 3, that's not 30. So only option B becomes our answer. Right? So use options as much as possible, as many times as possible. It will make your calculation speed or getting to the answer faster, and chances of making mistakes, it decreases when you are not actually solving equations. So I'm going to give you the next question. Let's see how many of you can solve it in the next 2 minutes. Reading the question and solving them. No one? So if you look at oranges, bananas, and apples, okay, and the first one tells us that we are going to have a total of, hold on, we're going to we have 2 oranges, 3 bananas, and 4 apples, and the cost is 15. So this is the cost. Sorry, this is the cost, right? And then it says we have got 3 oranges, 2 bananas, and an apple, and it costs us 10 rupees. So there are basically 2 ways to go about this. Okay. So the first is what we can do is we can look at the sum of the coefficients here, as in sum of the fruits. So the total number of fruits we have is 9, 2 plus 3 plus 4. And the next one we have 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 6. So if 9 fruits cost us 15 rupees, then 6 fruits should cost us 10 rupees. I hope this makes sense, right? If this is true, then we can use that 3 oranges, 3 bananas, and 3 apples. That would mean 9 total fruits will still cost us 15 rupees. So 15 becomes our answer. So this is one way to do this. You don't have to think what to multiply the first equation with and the second equation. You can see that I haven't written down any equation here. The second way is to do a bit of hit and trial and get to the answer. Okay. So if I look at bananas, oranges, and apples, so I can't have the price of an apple, which is going to be, let's say, if I take that as 1 rupee, so I have to make 11 rupees using oranges and bananas, right? Because that's the largest coefficient right now. So अगर मैंने इसको 1 रुपए का लिया तो 4 रुपए हो गए, 11 rupees more required. In order to make 11, 3 plus 8, right? 3 into 1 plus 2 into 3. No, 2 into 4. 8. 8 plus 3, 11. 11 plus 4, 15. If this is the price that we have assumed, तो next वाले से भी वही आना चाहिए, but you will realize that it exceeds 10, right? So, of course, these are not the prices. The next is another way to make 11 from the first equation is, if I take the bananas price to be 2 rupees, so that's 6 rupees, I need another 5 rupees using 2 oranges. It's going to be in points, so I'm not going to use that. Next is we can have 9 plus 2. So oranges, they cost 1 rupee each, bananas 3 rupees each, and apples 1 rupee each. So that this is 2 plus 9 plus 4, which is 15. Let's use the same and see if we are able to get 10 rupees from here. So this is 3 plus 6, 9, 9 plus 1, 10. So 3 into 1, 3 into 3, 3 into 1. So this is 9 plus 3 plus 3, 9 plus 6, 15. Perfectly, it makes sense, right? There is again another way to solve this. So if we look at oranges now, so I'll be writing abbreviations: oranges, bananas, and apples, right? And the total cost. So we have 2 oranges, 3 bananas, and 4 apples, and it costs 15 rupees. And we have got 3 oranges, 2 bananas, and 1 apple that costs us 10 rupees, the second basket. So if you look at the change in the coefficient, I can see that when oranges, they increase by 1, the number of bananas decrease by 1, and the number of apples decrease by 3. So this is the way the things change, right? So we are going to see a change of 5 rupees from here, right? What we can do is we can look at the sum of the coefficients here. So which basically means that if we add, this is going to give us 5 oranges, 5 bananas, 5 apples, and 25 rupees. Since the number of oranges, apples, and bananas, they are now same, we can divide throughout by 5 and say that one apple, one orange, one banana will cost us 5 rupees, or basically 3 apples, 3 bananas, 3 oranges will cost us 15. I hope this is also understood. Right? Okay. Now, the change in the coefficients. So there is a change of 1 and there is a decrease of 1. There is a decrease of 3. So if we increase that by 3, so that's going to be 7. And if we decrease it by 2, ठीक है, third method भी देख लेते हैं. Okay, let's reuse that. Oranges, bananas, apples, total cost. So we have got 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 1, 15, 10. So oranges, they increase by 1, then bananas decrease by 1, apples decrease by 3, and the cost decreases by 5. If I do this again, or if I double this change, so basically it's going to be not minus 10, but rather minus 5, twice of that. So 2 plus 1 is going to give us, 2 plus 3 is going to give us a 5. 2 into minus 2 plus minus 2 will give us a 0, so no bananas. 1 minus 6 is going to give us a minus 5, and 10 minus 10 is going to give us a 0. So basically, this tells us that 5 oranges minus 5 apples is equal to 0, which basically tells us that the price of oranges and apples, they are going to be same. Or basically, we can convert every orange into an apple or an apple into an orange. The overall cost will not change. Right? So this will help us understand that oranges and apples, they are same. So basically, we get 6, let's call them oranges. Let's convert every apple into an orange. So 4 plus 2, 6 oranges is equal to 3 bananas. Right? And the question that is given to us is 3 oranges plus 3 bananas plus 3 apples, which is basically saying 3 oranges plus 3 apples. They are the same thing. Right? We can rewrite this as 6 oranges plus 3 bananas. Now, 6 oranges plus 3 bananas, they are same. So they were equal to, 15 previously. This is still going to be 15. So basically, it's more like 7.5 for each. Okay, so this part is actually not important. The important part is if they are same, oranges and apples. So 3 oranges and 3 apples can be converted into 6 oranges. And we know that 6 oranges is same as 3 bananas. So the question is indirectly asking us that 6 bananas, they are going to cost how much? Right? So you can see that there are different ways of solving simultaneous linear equations in 3 or more than 3 variables as well. It's not necessarily every time an equation. Next one. It's theater. Anyone? So we are basically told that there are certain rows and each row has certain number of seats. Let's call them as C, that is columns, and this is 500. Now, after the renovations, the number of rows, it increases by 5, but the number of seats in each row remains the same. So this is going to give us something which is going to be more than 500. If the total number of seats after the renovation increased by 25%, so this increases by 25%, which is basically saying it increases by 125. So this becomes 625. Then how many rows and how many seats in a row were there initially in the theater? Okay. So we can use options, right? So if I take the first option, 20 rows and 25 seats, so basically we are saying that 20 into 25, this is going to be 500. Perfect. Now 20 plus 5 is 25. C remains same. 25 into 25 is going to be 625. Perfect. यही आंसर हो जाएगा. There is no other pair of values for R and C that will solve this. There is going to be one and only one answer. So the moment you get it, you are done. Don't try to solve the equations. This is the only way by which you can capitalize the number of attempts and make sure that your accuracy is good in speed exams like SNAP, which you guys must have already written, CMAT, MHCET. Okay, next. If A is between 0 and 1, which of the following statements is or are true? So A lies between 0 and 1. The first one says A square is going to be greater than 1. Second one says A square is going to be greater than -1. Third one says A square is going to be greater than A. So which out of these is going to be true? Anyone? Pretty simple question. Not much to think about. You can take any value which lies between 0 and 1 and then put it instead of A and see which out of these three works. So I'll prefer A is equal to 0.1. So 0.1 square is greater than 1. Nay. 0.1 square is greater than -1? Bilkul. 0.1 square is greater than 0.1. No. 0.1 square will decrease. It will become 0.01. 0.01 is not greater than 0.1. Right? So only the second one is true. Correct? So now let's look at a set. So we have got 4 question based set here. Three buses going to Goa have seats in 3 different positions, namely aisle, middle, and window. A few of them are occupied and a few of them are vacant. The total number of seats in each position is 40. So basically there are 120 seats. Bus P has certain condition that the number of vacant aisle seats is 20% of the total number of seats, only 50% of the middle seats are occupied, and so on and so forth. Similarly, for bus Q, we have got something written, and bus R ke liye bhi kuch pata hai hame. Now, using these information, we are supposed to solve these 5 questions. So what I will do is I'll let it be. I'll give you guys 4 to 5 minutes for this particular set. Figure out all the types of seats under each of the type of buses as per the conditions given. Once you have figured it out, I believe we'll be able to solve all the questions. So, start. Give it a try. Whoever is done, please let me know in the chat that you have figured it out. Anyone? So let's try. So we are going to have a window seat, and then we are going to have the middle seat, and then we are going to have aisle seat. Okay. Now, each of these window, middle, and aisle seats, they are going to be either vacant or they're going to be occupied. If you read these statements, you will realize that something of that sort has been mentioned. So I'm going to write OCC for occupied. I'm going to write VAC for vacant, because we know that the total number of seats, they are fixed, right? Uh, Total number of fixed of each type is 40. Now this is for bus P. Now we are going to have the same one for window, middle, aisle, and then we are going to have occupied, and then vacant, and then total. This is going to be 40 each again, and this is for bus Q. Then we have window, middle, aisle. We have got occupied, we have got vacant, and then we have got total seats. Each one is 40 and done. So we need the relationship between, the number of seats of each type under buses P, Q, and R. Let's start with bus P now. The number of vacant seats is 20% of the total number of seats. Now, the total number of seats is 120. Out of that, 20% is vacant. So that means total is 24. So the remaining is going to be 96 that are occupied, because total is 120. Now, only 50% of the middle seats are occupied. 50% of middle seats, that would mean 20. So 20 are occupied, that means 20 are vacant. The number of vacant seats is, vacant window seats is 2/3 of the total occupied seats in the aisle and the, I missed a wording here. Let's redo. The number of vacant aisle seats is 20% of the total number of seats. Okay. So the number of vacant aisle seats, this is going to be the 20% of total number of seats. So 20% of total number of seats is 120. Uska ye 24 ho jayega. This is going to be 16. So 24 is not total vacant seats. Next, only 50% of the middle seats are occupied. So middle seats has 40. Uska 50% they are occupied. So that's 20 occupied and 20 are vacant. Next, the number of vacant window seats is 2/3. This is 2/3 of the total occupied seats in the aisle and middle position. So aisle and middle position ka occupied is 36. Uska 2/3, that's 24, is going to be vacant. So this is going to be 24. If 24 are vacant, that means another 16 are occupied. So the total vacant seats we can see is 68. That would mean the occupied seats, they are 52. Now, let's look at bus Q now. The number of vacant seats in the middle position is 10 more than the number of occupied aisle seats in bus P. Occupied aisle seats in bus P is 16. So this is 10 more. So this results in 26. If this is 26, this is going to be 14 because we have overall 40. Okay, the number of occupied window seats, we are talking about this particular cell, is half the total vacant seats in bus P. Total vacant seats in bus P is 68. So half of that is going to be 34, is occupied window, right? The number of occupied aisle seats, so this is 34, so this is vacant is 6. Now, the number of occupied aisle seats, this is 12 more than the number of vacant aisle seats. Number of vacant aisle seats say, yet 12 zyada hai. So what we are going to do is we are going to divide 40 into 2 equal parts, 20, 20. And if I, increase aisle by 1, occupied aisle by 1, then vacant aisle will decrease by 1. So that's a change of 2. Since we need a change of 6, I'll have to add 3 there. Sorry, we need a change of 12, so we need to add 6 there. Adding 6 would mean that half of 40 is going to be 20. So this is going to be 26, and this one is going to be 14. So that the number of occupied aisle seats is 12 more than the number of vacant aisle seats. Now, total occupied is going to be 74 out of 120 overall. So the remaining 46 is going to be vacant. Now, let's go to bus R. Total number of vacant seats is 37.5% of total number of seats. 37.5 is nothing but 3 upon 8. So total number of seats we have is 120. Uska 3/8. Now 1/8 of 120 is 15. So 3/8 is going to be 45. So total vacant seats is 45 out of 120. That would mean the remaining 75 are occupied. Okay. The middle seats are 50% vacant. So that's 20 and 20 each. The number of occupied aisle seats, this cell is 2/5 of the total occupied seats. Now 1/5 of 75 total occupied is going to be 15. So 2/5 is going to be 30. So this one turns out to be 30. If this is 30, this is going to be 10. The overall vacant is 45, out of which 30 already exists. So this is going to be 15. This is supposed to be 25. Such that total occupied is 75 as well. Now, we can go ahead with the questions. What is the total number of occupied seats in all the buses together? Total number of occupied seats is 52 plus 74 plus 75. 52 plus 74 plus 75. So this is a number that is going to end in 1. You can see I did not add it. There are 2 options that are going to end in 1. All we need to do is see, it's going to reach 250-ish, or is it going to be around 200? So 75 plus 75 is 150 plus another 50 is 200. So it should be close to 200. So 201 is going to be the answer. Next, if one ticket to Goa cost rupees 1500 for each of the buses, then find the revenue generated by bus Q from this Goa trip. So if you look at bus Q, the occupied seats is 74. So we have to basically do 74 into 1500. Now, 74 into 1500 is like saying 74 plus half of 74. So 1 is done, 5 is going to be half of that. So this is going to give us a 37. If we add this, this is going to give us 111. So we should have 111 and then we should have two more zeros behind it. Two more zeros. Hold on. 1500, 74, and 50. No, sorry. Three zeros. 74 and 5, it will also give us an extra zero. So B becomes our answer. If you look at question number 7, for each vacant seat, if the company loses rupees 800, then find the total loss suffered by the company. So we need to see how many total vacant seats we have. Total vacant seats we have is 68, 46, and 45. 68 plus 46 plus 45. 46 plus 45 is 91. 91 plus 8 is 99. 99 plus, let's say, 100. 100 plus 60 is 160. We have one less, so this is basically 159. Now we have to do 159 into 8 followed by two zeros. Now, 8 into 9 is going to end in 2. So the only option that ends in 2 is option B. So to a certain extent, you do the calculation. Beyond that, look at the options very quick, see what's the uniqueness about each of the options or the group of options given. Last digit, how long it is going to be, will approximation do? Whichever strikes first, go ahead with it. Question number 8. In bus R, so the bus R we have is that 75-45, the last one. If 40% of the seats were occupied by females, so the total seats we have is 75, right? So 40% of 75, 10% is 7.5, 20% is 15, 40% is going to be 30. So this is basically saying that 30 seats are occupied by females. So obviously remaining 45 by male. And out of these 30, 40% were at least 25 years old. 40% of 30 is going to be 12. 12 were greater than equal to 25 years. Then find the number of females below the age of 25. So out of 30, agar 12 idhar hai, so the remaining 60%, or that's 18 female, is going to be less than 25 years of age. I hope this makes sense. Right? Next one. The number of vacant window seats in bus P, the number of vacant window seat in bus P, which is 24. So this is basically saying 24 is how much percentage more than the number of vacant window seats in bus R. Vacant window seats in bus R. So this is 15. So basically 24 is what percentage more than 15. So this is an increase of basically 9. So this 9 out of 15, which is like saying 3 out of 5, which is nothing but 60%. Option C comes our answer. Right? So you can see that CMAT-level DI or Quant, they are somewhat, basic calculative. You can use smart approaches to eliminate options or to select options. Concept wise, you do not have to understand a lot. The equations, even if you write, they're not going to be lengthy. There are going to be a lot of tricks involved, direct formulae to be used. Okay. So in case if any one of you has any doubt, feel free to ask. I'll wait for around a minute. Okay. Anything related to CMAT. Tomorrow you guys have MyCat 2 exam. I hope you guys are writing it. Anyone would like to ask anything? No, nothing to ask. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like the video. That's all we need from you. And if possible, share it with your friends. Okay. In case if you come up with any of the doubts later on while studying or while revising the concepts, while solving some questions, please make sure that you let me know in the comment section. Okay. I'll reply to those. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'll see you soon. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.